To those reading the title and have been my subscriber for a while, then you'll think that this is rich coming from me, since I grew up with Star Wars since I was 5 years old. I've been a Star Wars fan for a long time now. Shockingly enough, I never grew up with the prequels. The first Star Wars movie I've seen was actually, in my memory, Empire Strikes Back. It was a film that blew my mind. Even till this day, I get chills from the Vader plot twist because that was the most memorable scene to me as a kid. After watching the original trilogy, then I saw the prequels, and guess what was the movie that I constantly watched? Revenge of the Sith. Because the first two were trash. So The Last Jedi is out, and just as I thought, I knew it was going to trigger butthurt Star Wars fanboys, but it didn't go the way I thought it would. I honestly thought this was going to be like The Force Awakens once again, when people absolutely loved it for the first time, and after a while, people randomly start to hate it for no reason. However, audience seems to be divided with this film from the very start, which I didn't know until after I saw the movie. After doing some research and figuring out why Star Wars fans hate The Last Jedi, I found the #1 reason. And that reason alone makes me ashamed to classify myself as a Star Wars fan. Before I continue, if you're one of those Star Wars fanboys who's super triggered that your fictional characters from your childhood are ruined, then I suggest you turn off this video because I'm gonna make fun of you a lot. So sit back, relax, eat some porgs, drink some titty milk, and let's sprinkle some crate salt on these Star Wars fanboys and why I hate them more than DC and Marvel fans, or any fandom in general. Maybe except for birds. Fuck those dog kissers. I'm not gonna talk about why I think The Last Jedi is great, because there are plenty of video essays and analysis done by actual intelligent people, so I recommend that you check those out. The real reason why these morons hate these films is because it wasn't their version of Star Wars they wanted. You do know that even if one of your bullshit fan theories are true, that still won't satisfy the other majority of people who support a different theory. What a crime. What a bloody crime that a movie actually took risk and defied people's expectations by giving me a film that is unique and creative. Now, I enjoyed The Force Awakens and I had a decent time with Rogue One, but those two movies are just fluff. They are a Star Wars filler to me, made by a committee and instead of a director with a voice. The Force Awakens, while a good film with great characters and cinematography, it does rely heavily on the structure of the originals. Rogue One, while it does have its own story, it relies too heavily on nostalgia, and it was also quite a mess with the reshoots. Plus, all the characters aside from K2SO and Chirrut were trash. If you're seriously judging a movie based on your expectations alone and nothing else on what makes a good movie, then do me and the rest of the world a favor and don't review movies ever again. This is why I usually trust critics now when it comes to movies. Critics are people who make a living analyzing films. So if I were to read a review on a film that I'm looking forward to, I would see what the professionals have to say and not some amateurs.
With movie reviews, I tend to listen to critics more because they're professional. It's their job. They know how to analyze movies differently than your typical eye.
And it could have been an amazing film, but it wasn't. I don't know why all these critics are lying.
You fucking dumbass. Now, I used to be one of those idiots who refused to listen to critics. One example was Suicide Squad. I used to enjoy it simply because Harley was hot and I had fun. That's it. But after a while, I realized how idiotic I was. As I start to judge this shit in film standards, I realized that it's a poorly made and incompetent film. No offense to the general audience unless you're a Star Wars fuckboy, but people seem to judge a movie nowadays with one important criteria, and that's how entertaining it was. I can honestly see people watching Blade Runner 2049 and fall asleep, but still enjoy these trash movies like Justice League. I mean, is it really fair to judge a movie only based on what you think or you want to happen? If I remember from film class, we don't judge a movie based on expectations alone. Judging a movie isn't like judging a fucking burger at Five Guys whether you like the taste or not. It's more complicated than that. I know this has been a meme before with Rick and Morty, but The Last Jedi is truly a complex film that requires you to actually pay attention to the important aspects rather than glowing stick. I guess what I'm trying to say is that you need a higher IQ for The Last Jedi. Hashtag The Last Jedi is too smart for you. Now, I am not saying that the film is perfect. The pacing is unbalanced, few unnecessary characters and scenes here and there, underdeveloped characters, and so on. As much as I would love to see Ghost Anakin shows up, or if Snoke left a bigger impact, or if Akbar was the one who kamikazed the ship instead of the purple hair lady, those expectations weren't valid reasons to claim The Last Jedi as a bad film. In fact, I am glad that The Last Jedi did its own thing and proved all those stupid fan theories wrong. How many times do we need to see a Star Wars movie that have characters connect from a different saga? How many times do we need to see another Chosen One story? Or another Palpatine clone? This franchise takes place in a huge galaxy, so having Snoke as Darth Plagueis or fucking Boba Fett defeats the purpose of a saga with a bigger story. If these characters have some direct link with previously established characters, that limits the possibilities and creative freedom overall. Now, if you don't like the movie because you didn't like certain character developments or a few plot holes that does hinder the movie as a whole, or if you didn't like the pacing, didn't like the acting or story, or if you think the cinematography is bland and original, then that's fine because you're then critiquing a movie based on those important aspects then. It's not just the poor criticism of The Last Jedi that I hate from these rabid fanboys. Just recently, and the number one reason why I hate them overall with a passion, is their immaturity online. Fans are making petitions left and right to demand that Disney removes The Last Jedi from canon. Are you people this insecure with your life that you have to throw a fit like a pussy just because your fictional character is different than the one you knew back in your childhood? I'm sure you have more things to worry about, such as net neutrality or Trump's presidency, but no! It was because old Luke wasn't like young Luke that threw you over the edge. Yeah, it's not like people could change after a traumatic failure in 30 years. My god, there are even petitions to force the director to admit The Last Jedi was a failure. Like, really? Unintelligence for understanding a message is one thing, because that's just like a child's mistake. But making these petitions demanding Disney to change their minds is like handling a special needs child. Oh, but I only just scratched the surface. Besides these stupid criticisms on the film, the flame wars, or the petitions, some racist went so far to change Rose's Wikipedia page solely because he doesn't like her character. Now, I do feel like Rose is a pointless character overall, but I certainly wouldn't go this far, because really? What is this? I honestly can't tell if they're trolling or not. And most likely they're probably not trolling, because people get so triggered about this nowadays, especially Star Wars fans. I'm sure there are other crazy stories these Star Wars fans are doing right now, but I really don't want to look any further. I'm tired of this cancer. You people should be ashamed of yourself for doing these childish things over a fucking movie. You are a disgrace to Star Wars fans, and I am ashamed to even call myself a Star Wars fan. That is it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to call me an idiot or do more name calling, then go ahead. Type up your long paragraphs on my comment section and tell me why I should kill myself, or why I'm gay, or my voice is gay, or my parents are gay. And if you do, I'll just delete it and I won't even read it. Or maybe I'll make some sort of a comment comeback video to show everyone how stupid you are.